They're standing right there in that sagebrush looking stuff, looking at me. Look at them. Can you see them? Let me get stopped here. Right there. Just looking at me. Walk up here a little bit now. Walking they ain't gonna like, oh, it's a little buck. 2 little bucks, I guess, maybe. I can't say this video is sponsored by TidRadio. What I can tell you is they sent it to me for review. Today we're going to be doing a more in-depth look into this radio and what you can expect from it if you decide to purchase one. Recently we did a video on the TidRadio. It's a GMRS radio. Welcome. And I told you after we'd had it for a while and we was going to run it through its paces that I'd be doing a follow-up video. Most of your ham radios, GMRS radios, they're all pretty much very similar in the fact that they have to be essentially what you'd call line of sight. So knowing that I'd be using this in the woods for hunting, we did several tests. They make great little emergency radio. Last year, I took a friend of mine, we were hunting together. It was the first time we'd ever hunted together. I took him out to a location, dropped him off for an evening hunt. Later that evening, after dark, about like it is right now, I'm over there where I left him and I'm like, trying to send him a text. Cell phones were not working out there. You could barely get a text to go through. Long story short, it took about 30 minutes and one of his texts finally popped up and it said, "Dale, I'm lost, come find me." I've got a whole video on that. I'm not gonna talk about that this morning, but I'm just gonna say accidents happen when you're out in the field. And that's where I think this TidRadio, being a GMRS radio, that's one of the things that we want to talk about today, because we were hunting in an area where there was no cell phone or limited cell phone usage. Do a little map on Onyx or whatever to give you a better understanding so that we can answer Joe's question. He was asking how far will they reach in a wooded area. And I'm pleased to announce that this little handheld from one corner of the wooded acres, and mind you, I was downhill. There's an elevation drop over there too. Now it's not huge, but I want to say it's about 20 foot. And one of our other team members on the safety team, I had him go inside the actual church. So he was on the opposite corner in the main part of the church, and we were able to talk to each other plain as day. I was truly impressed at how well, not only did it go through the woods, but it actually went through the building. The signal went through the building as well. So I'm going to give that really a big A+, but I can say this, it gives me a lot more reassurance that this year, when me and my buddy go back out to the public land we've been hunting out here in East Texas, if we were to get separated, knowing that the cell phone coverage is not real good out there, we have another option for maybe trying to maintain communication in case somebody gets lost, hurt, any of that. I think it really will be a huge help and a huge perk. Now, the reason I'm riding my bike today, I want to make one more small point, and you can really see all the spider webs. Nothing's been through here this morning. A lot of your hiking trails, a lot of hikers are actually now utilizing GMRS radios. GMRS radios have gained a lot of popularity over the last few years, and I think one of the main reasons being you don't truly have to study for a bunch of electronic stuff to get your license. You just pay your 20 bucks and get it. Along with that, there's a lot more repeaters out there, and where the repeaters come in handy, like let's just say you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or even Longview for that matter, because they've got a GMRS repeater in Longview. Now you're opened up to where you could potentially talk 30, 40, 50 miles away. Something like that would be a lot more doable and a realistic. That's actually pretty awesome also. But aside from that, something to think about, especially if you're on e-bikes and you're out hunting in a public hunting area, is it's real easy to carry one of these radios in your backpack, and now you've got another option for calling for help if you need to. Even out here in deep East Texas, you might still be able to reach somebody if your cell phone doesn't work. More talking about non-emergency, because if you're truly in a life-threatening emergency, Spot, the Garmin InReach, those items and devices, they're actually designed specifically for that, for like a way to get help, helicopter help, airlifted out of somewhere, a medical emergency. but just your basic, hey, I'm lost, or I need some help, my boat's broke down, or I've lost my paddle to my kayak, or whatever, the GMRS radio may be a good option for you. Part of the reason I took you guys out here so early this morning, I've mentioned it in a couple other videos, there's about 3 or 4 bucks back here that keep crossing this road, normally around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to be back here early this morning. We're going to set up on our little bike and see if we can't see them crossing the road. I can't say this video is sponsored by TidRadio. What I can tell you is they sent it to me for review. In previous video, when we kind of did the initial introduction, I talked about this radio. We had several questions. One of the questions was, what's the range on this radio? So in today's video, we've been using this every week for, I don't know, 2-3 months now. So I've gotten to know this radio quite a bit. We can answer a lot of the questions that you guys have had, just so you can see a lot of the people that have been complaining about the screen brightness on this Pucky Puppy screen. It's actually perfect for hunters because it's not going to be too bright when you're riding in early morning, late evening rides going in or out of the field. Look over here. The deer have been crossing through here quite a bit. Right up there is really where the bucks have been crossing. And then they're also coming out of this field. You can see this trail right here. We're not super sneaky. We're just trying to see if we can see anything coming out of the edge of these fields this morning. I'd like to get a better eye on that buck that I've been seeing. And you may be asking yourself, hey, why don't you put out your trail camera? I've got it put up in a different location. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see them, but those 3 bucks just crossed right back up there. Dagnabbit. I was hoping they'd cross right here where we'd get a much better, closer look at them. I'm going to have to come back here with my big camera.
Welcome.
Alright, Joe. So to answer your question about this radio, we're kind of on a hill right here, and you can kind of see it's going down pretty much everywhere. But if you can see down there, that blue water tower, that would really be a kind of a good realistic, if you're hunting and say your buddy's hunting alongside with you and y'all are glassing an area or whatever, that's roughly 1/4 mile down there or better. You would definitely be able to talk. No problem at all. If your buddy goes off into these woods, you should still be able to talk. Unfortunately, Angie isn't able to make it this trip with me, or we'd be kind of doing the comparison video with you right now, but I'm just telling you from the testing we did at the church, these little radios for a $30 bill are actually working really, really good. I do have to, for transparency's sake, say, hey, this company reached out to me, said, would you like to do a review on our radio? And I said, absolutely. I love all the GMRS and I love the ham radio stuff, and that's part of the stuff that we use on our channel. We're an outdoor channel, and I think being prepared is ultimately the safest way you can do anything, and be as prepared as we can be by our own prepping and planning. And I think this is just one more tool, just like with your safety kit. This is another item. I briefly mentioned earlier about how I lost a buddy last year hunting. We were in an area with no cell phone coverage. We're out here in deep East Texas where the cell phone is spotty at best, and getting a text to go through is still a slim chance. However, it's more probable than not. But when you're looking for somebody, especially if he was hurt, time's going to make a difference. And if you can at least talk to each other on the radio, kind of get everybody to calm down, give me some things that you're looking at, let me see if I can find it on the map, I think your response time would be a lot greater trying to find your friend, your buddy, that type of stuff. Again, just kind of sharing some of the pros, the cons. This thing will work with the local GPS repeaters. It's extremely easy to program. We've done a video on programming the Baofeng. It's exactly the same with this. We're using the same Sharp software. You're using the same, instead of looking for a ham radio repeater, you're looking for GMRS repeaters with the same website. So, I mean, you can follow along with that video and program this radio just exactly the same with the same cable that you would use to program any of the other radios. I hope this video has been helpful to some of y'all. As you can see, this is a small radio. You can carry this in your bike, and it's something I think, especially if you're hunting on public land, you're riding e-bike or hiking, either one, this is another cheaper alternative to like the inReach or the Spot. Both of those are going to be basically the spot, I know for certain because I carried one for years on my bike. You can pre-program a message, satellite sent to your wife or whatever, say, hey, I made it to camp, I'm okay. And then your other button is for strictly emergency use. And let's just use the motorcycle, for example. If they send a helicopter out to pick you up or rescue you, they're only taking you. They're not making preps and plans for your bike or any of the other junk. It is strictly an emergency deal. To whereas your ham radios, you don't have a monthly fee, and I'm using the word ham radio, but your GMRS radio, there's no monthly fees involved. You buy it one time, $30, keep it in your backpack. The battery lasts on this thing extremely long period of time. And for any of you guys that are first responders, you know what I'm talking about. You can charge your radio up, and even if you're not using it over a set of working, the battery's dead, even if you're not using it. You can charge this up. Battery's going to stay charged for a lengthy amount of time. I can't say for years because I've only had it about 3 months. But you can leave it charged up when you're not using it, and it's still going to work. I've been using this every Sunday now for roughly 3 months with our safety team at church, and that's how we can kind of keep an eye on the parking lot, elderly, that type of stuff. Somebody falls down, we want to help them. Great radio for the money. And then if you're a ham radio operator, they do actually sell this in a ham radio version. And I'm not going to teach you how to jailbreak this thing, but it could actually be a ham radio as well. This video is not about that, because buy the ham radio version if you're needing the ham radio. This one's the GMRS version. But I'm telling you, they're exactly the same radio with a little different letter, but you can actually jailbreak this or reset it or whatever wording you want to use and it would become a ham radio. Again, guys, just another cool feature. I think it's a great radio. They did send this to me for review. I'm not being paid to give you my thoughts. I'm just telling you my honest opinion, and I've done other GMRS radio reviews that I wasn't paid for. I think this one is a clear winner. I do like how it's real small. Even in your bike shorts, you could put it in your pocket. Let's see here. I don't know how well you can see that, but just regular old bike shorts. Put it in your pocket. It does have the screws on the back. You could put the belt clip on it. I just don't use it. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. If you guys are hikers or bikers or hunters, comment down below. Have you thought about using a GMRS radio? Or are you currently using one? Or is this something? If you guys want to see more videos like this, comment down below and let me know, because ultimately our job here at Heartland Makes is to make videos that'll help you, whether it be gear reviews for hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, biking, or whatever you guys are more interested in. Just comment down below. We love the ham radio stuff. We love the GMRS radio. I think it's another essential tool to have in your tool bag. And it's lightweight. You can charge this thing, probably use it 2 or 3 weeks at deer camp, especially if you're doing the every hour on the hour, turn it on, listen for 15 minutes and shut it back off. This thing would probably last 2 or 3 weeks up in the mountains or at deer camp. You don't have to be in the mountains to be at deer camp, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a blessed week. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. With your help, we can actually hit that 10,000 mark. I hope to be there by the end of the year, but we'll see what happens and see what kind of blessings are spread this channel's way. And until the next video comes out, I hope you all can get outside, make something happen. Have a blessed week. We'll see you on the next one.